Hi everyone, Jackie with Full Moon Loan Designs. For those of you here in the US, I hope you had a wonderful weekend for the 4th. I know around here it was hot. Lots of fireworks, which the dog didn't particularly appreciate, but today I'm home, got the day off, and gonna play with some glass. And I wanted to revisit this mold. I haven't done one in a while. And if you aren't familiar with it, it is the Feather Mold by Color deVerre. It is fairly good size. From the feather tip to the stem tip, yeah, probably about 14 inches, and then a good 4 to 5 inches across, depending on where you measure it. So anyway, if you've bought this, you're probably familiar with the tutorial. They do provide some stencils that you can cut out for this. Now, I probably could have taken it a step further and done this, imported it into the Cricut. I didn't today. I'm just going old school. I'm going to use a craft knife. But the one thing I did, I wanted to share, was I cut out the sections and I put them on a laminate sheet. I happen to have some of these longer ones. I think they're 11 by 17. So what I did was I laid my strips that I cut out across my mold to kind of figure out how far apart I wanted them. And here you can kind of see that pretty much lines up with the mold and where you would want the stripes. So what I'm going to do is I have to do this off camera because I'm not coordinated enough, but I am going to take my mold and I'm going to trace around it, and I'm actually going to cut this laminate piece more the size to just sit across the top of the mold. So when I come back, I'll have that drawn and I'll show you how I'm going to cut that. All right, so I'm going to try the phone propped up with the my coffee cup there. Hopefully that holds. What I've done here is, I know it's hard to see with this angle of the camera, but I have laid the mold down and pretty much centered it. But if I didn't get it right the first time, it's laminate, so I can just wipe it off and retry. But initially, I am just going to cut it the shape of the mold here, or draw it, sorry, so that I can cut it. And I think I just drew on my table. That's all right. A little bit of alcohol. Take the marker off. Okay. So now I have drawn this across the images. I'm trying to be careful with that because it has been zip coated. So hopefully you can see now I've drawn the shape of the mold. And I'm going to take scissors at this point and just cut it out, maybe just a little outside of the line so that it is just a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna set that there, grab my scissors. Okay. So now I have this cut where I can just lay it on the mold. And as I'm looking at it, it's pretty flimsy. I could run this through another sheet of laminate, but I think it's going to be okay because I'm not going to be putting a ton of powders over it. I'm just using it as a reference for where to put my stripes. So now at this point, I'm going to move my mold out of the way and I'm going to cut the design out. And I'm probably going to stay a good 1/4 inch in from the border, even if the design touches the border, just because I don't want my stencil to break. So I'll start up here. And I realize my arm is probably right in the way. You could use an X-Acto knife. I just happen to have one of these little Cricut, what is it called? True Control knife, which I actually really like. The blades are super easy to change. And no, I don't get paid by Cricut to say that, but I do like their knife. I think I might have missed a spot, but let's take a look. The other thing that I thought about doing, and I didn't cut it quite all the way through yet, is setting this up on the Cricut and importing the design in and cutting it that way. It just sounds like it's going to take too much time out of my day today, and I treasure my days off. So a couple of passes with the knife and it should be good. So I'm going to pause the camera, finish cutting these out, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I used my knife. I cut out each of the sections. Might be a couple places I need to just trim a little bit. I'm not worried about where you see gaps in between here. Those aren't cut out. So really the only place my powder is going to go when I sift it is where these actual cutouts are. The tape was just in there. If I didn't mention it at the beginning, is just because I wanted my strips of paper to stay in place as I was sending it through the laminator. But I'll tip this up so you can see. Here I have the mold and my single sheet of stencil cut using those patterns from the Color deVerre website. So I'm going to post this on my page as well as on their group page, and hopefully this is helpful for those of you that have this feather mold. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you found this helpful. Have a great day.